this is the time for giving gifts and saying thank yous.
To spread the cheer far and wide, I'll be knocking up a whole bunch of delicious edible prezzies. Come on in and feel the warmth.
As well as making tasty treats that come from the heart and fill the belly,
If somebody gave me this for Christmas, I would be thrilled to bits.
I'll be throwing a big beefy thank you party for all the canteen staff.
I'm going for the ultimate roast beef with all the trimmings.
And lining up rows of herrings.
You're looking at a pile of herring sperm. Still.
While Tim goes out clubbing with wild bunnies.
It could all go horribly wrong, couldn't it, really?
As we come to the end of our seasonal journey through a year at River Cottage.
Little drum roll for the onions there. Oh, blimey, you're absolutely insane. Look at that. It's delicious.
As the year comes to a close, the days are getting colder, wetter, shorter and darker. All good reasons to make sure that this is definitely the season to be jolly. And what could be jollier than making some yummy edible presents? And so I've asked Baker Dan and Pam the Jam to help me rustle up some sweet treats for all the family. We're retiring to our kitchen grottos to be busy little sweet-toothed elves.
Here's something you can knock up in 10 minutes flat that's guaranteed to bring joy to anyone who likes a bit of chocolate. And do you know anyone who doesn't? These are my 10-minute chocolate chunk cookies. I'm using 2 types of sugar, half golden caster sugar and half soft brown sugar for that slightly syrupy taste in the cookies.
It's going to be a pretty hefty batch of bickies, so I've melted 500 grams of butter over a gentle heat, and it's thoroughly mixed with 700 grams of sugar. 4 eggs go in, along with 4 caps of natural vanilla essence. In goes 600 grams of plain flour, and it's all mixed to a sticky dough.
I want to make a batch of plain chocolate cookies and a batch of milk chocolate cookies, so at this point I'm going to split my mix. And the secret of proper choc chunk cookies is to have proper sized chunks of chocolate, of course.
Dot dessert spoonfuls of the mixture onto your baking sheets, allowing a good bit of spreading room between them. Then bake in the oven at 190 degrees for 10 minutes.
Cookies a go-go, look at that. And there they are, my 10-minute chocolate chunk cookies.
Meanwhile, Dan is staking his baking reputation on a rather more sophisticated chocky bicky.
I want to do something a little bit different. It's a little German cakey biscuit thing called Pfeffernuss.
With their punchy spice blend, cloves, cinnamon, mace and lots of pfeffer, I reckon this is a man's biscuit.
Loads and loads and loads.
A mixture of eggs, butter and honey is added to the spicy flour.
It smells amazing. It's the smells of Christmas. Clove is really strong.
After resting for an hour, the mixture is rolled into balls and baked for 15 minutes. By way of a final festive indulgence, Dan's filling his Pfeffernuss with plum jam and dipping them in melted chocolate. Meanwhile, Preserve Supremo Pam is planning to transform a modest winter forage of chestnuts into a festive favourite beloved of mums everywhere, marron glacé.
Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without chestnuts. I'm doing this just in a cross so that when they're cooked, the water and the heat will get inside that shell and I can peel them quite easily.
To transform mealy chestnuts into melting sweetmeats, blanch and peel them, Then cook them for 30 minutes in a simmering syrup flavoured with a split vanilla pod. Then leave to cool.
Dip each chestnut quickly into some boiling water and then into the sugar syrup. And it's back onto the baking tray.
Then dry overnight in the oven on the lowest possible heat.
And fragrant, crunchy and quite divine.
Delicious treats like these cost a fortune in the shops, but next to nothing to make yourself. And anything you buy will never taste quite as wonderful as something made at home with an extra spoonful of love. And that's a message I want to share.
You know what? I think a little bit of quality control is in order. Goodness me, that's a whole grown-up and sophisticated cake. That is quite something. These are Pam's marron glacé, and they look beautiful. The sort of sugar coating makes them look snow-frosted. Oh, they dissolve in the mouth. It's incredibly sweet, and yet you get that full chestnut flavour at the same time. Wonderful.
After all that hard work, I can't quite let these go for nothing.
Although I think there's a generous spirit of giving behind our little plan to take these goodies to Axminster Market.
Because all cash raised will be going to a good cause.
River Cottage Sweet Treats fundraising. Don't be shy. Have a little taste of our biscuits this morning. Festive biscuits. Festive biscuits. One for you and one for you.
I'll take just right.
Lovely. You enjoying that biscuit?
If I go carefully, otherwise I shall go home without any teeth. Very nice.
A couple of evenings in a warm kitchen, merrily making edible goodies, certainly beats a guilty last-minute rush around the shops.
There you go. Well done.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Do you like the biscuit? There's a packet for each of them.
What did you say? Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
Hugh, you can have one of those if you can spell it.
Pfeffernuss. Oh, for goodness sake, I'm having it anyway. Too good to miss.
Stephen Perham is one of a disappearing breed. A Cornish fisherman who catches herrings with a traditional drift net. The season runs from Michaelmas to Christmas. In the hope of a fresh herring breakfast, I've got up early. Very early.
It's 5:30 in the morning in the North Devon fishing village of Clovelly.
I've come to meet Stephen at his home, a rather classy address for a man of his trade.
Stephen,
Hello.
good morning.
Good morning.
Is now a good time to go fishing?
Now before it gets too light.
All right, let's do it.
So get on.
At this time of year, the herring, or silver darlings as they're affectionately called around here, come to the sea's edge to spawn.
So the herring shoals come right into the shore, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they spawn on the rocks here. As the light's changing, they'll move off to the light.
Stephen nets the herrings as they swim out towards the rising sun, a technique that goes back centuries.
My family have been here for about 200 years now.
And how many herring boats were here going way back?
The heyday of it. There was about 80 boats fishing down the Clovelly, eh?
And how many boats left doing this now?
2 of us now, really.
Just the two of you?
2, yeah.
In terms of your impact on the herring population, I guess you're barely scratching the surface, just a couple of boats.
And when you compare it to the big purse seiners and trawlers that are catching tons and tons to a time, you're not going to get much more sustainable than this, isn't it?
Dawn's breaking, and I'm feeling ravenous. I haven't had much kip, but I could certainly murder a kipper.
It's a herring. First of many?
You never know. We've got another one coming up here now.
Hey! Well, I wouldn't say they're coming thick and fast, but starting to look like breakfast anyway. You know what? We've covered the bottom of the basket. A couple of dozen now.
Like all fishermen, Stephen has good days and not so good. But it's a great day for me, as I've never held a fresher herring in my hand.
I feel quite passionate about this little fish.
It's such a fantastic food, and it's played a huge part in the history of the British fishing industry. But it's also been roundly abused through industrial fishing, ending up in fish meal, pet food, and even in fertiliser. And what I love about these Clovelly herrings is that every single one of them is going to be eaten by a person, and a grateful one at that. And that's something to celebrate. So why not a festival?
Lovely Clovelly herrings, silver darlings, fresh out the sea, the best you can get.
And today is the annual Clovelly Herring Festival, which welcomes the return of the herring shoals and all who come to revel in a bit of herring history and gastronomy.
Herring potted in a local pot. Now that's lovely.
And it's cooked in cider. Yeah.
Hint of mace.
Yeah, hint of mace.
Delicious. Bit of herring and potato.
Yes, with pink fur potatoes.
Ooh, great combination. Beautiful. What's the secret of your cure then?
Good marinade, 24 hours at least.
Good marinade. That's not exactly giving away the ingredients, is it?
Well,
I was going to say, you could tell me, but you'd have to kill me, is that it?
Most of us are familiar with smoked herrings as kippers.
Wow.
But the traditional bloater is also worth seeking out.
I'd love a Clovelly bloater.
The fish is brined and then smoked whole, guts, roe and all.
That's absolutely beautiful.
And I've still got our morning's catch to look forward to. Lovely working with such fantastically fresh fish. And these herrings have got a beautiful rainbow iridescence. Look at that. Rachel is the sister of my new fishing friend Stephen, and she's also cooking at the festival. I've promised her the fillets, because I've got my eye on the roe. These hard roe are the eggs from the female. Right, now this is the soft roe from the male. And if anything, it's even more of a delicacy. So, Rachel, what are you cooking today?
I'm going to be cooking a fillet of herring rolled in oatmeal.
Kind of like a grown-up fish finger.
Very nice, isn't it?
The fillets are dipped in flour, egg, and then the oat flakes ready for frying. The final touch is a rather special seasoning.
What's in there, Rachel? That looks a little bit cunning. Come on, what's going on?
There's a bit of fennel in there.
Yeah, I see it. And black pepper?
And black pepper. And a
salt.
bit of seaweed, actually.
A bit of seaweed. Right, well, I'm going to pinch some of that for my roe. It can't do any harm, can it?
My roes are tossed in the seasoned flour and fried in sizzling oil and butter, while Rachel's oaty fillets also hit the skillet.
The hard roes and the soft roes are aptly named because the hard roes do go really very hard and the soft roes stay really lovely and creamy in the middle. So it's quite a contrasting thing to have on the same plate. I think it's fantastic.
That's proper handsome, that.
And a fillet of herring as fresh as this. It's just sweet and gentle taste. Yeah, really nourishing. That's wonderful. What a wonderful fish. Right, just at this moment that you realise you're looking at a pile of herring sperm. Still.
You're going to make me choke in a minute.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'll do.
So next time you're at the fishmonger, don't dismiss the humble herring. Treat yourself to a silver darling. I'm all for oven bakes and steaming stews at this time of year. But I do like to cut my winter warmers with something fresh and crisp. So back in October, I was nurturing my seedlings for a fresh crop of winter salads. You don't have to have a greenhouse or a polytunnel to grow some fantastic winter salads. What a lot of gardeners don't realise is that most of our salad crops are actually frost hardy. This Claytonia, for example, really doesn't mind how cold it gets. And its lovely succulent leaves add a bit of crunch to a winter salad. That's delicious. This is corn salad, or mash. Another lovely, mild, but juicy and crunchy winter leaf. I'm also planting Winter Density, a lettuce that actually likes the cold. Cold weather helps it form a nice, crisp heart, and it's a really tasty lettuce too. This is landcress. It's got all the pep and bite of watercress, but it doesn't need to have its feet in water. It's very happy in a bed of soil. This one isn't so keen on the cold, so if you think there's a little bit of frost coming, grab yourself a cloche. So, what's a cloche? Well, round these parts, it's a fancy term for half a plastic drinks bottle.
That should keep snug and warm in all but the harshest of frosts. And it's also slug-proof.
2 months later, and the chilly weather is here. But my salads are not complaining. In fact, they're thriving.
And now I want something that's going to stop my leafy greens from being a mere side salad and put them centre stage. Something rooty and substantial. Look at that. That's a Jerusalem artichoke. A very, very lovely aromatic winter root. They really are rather gorgeous, aren't they? It just needs a bit of a buff and a polish, and it'll be a lovely pinky purple gem. When artichokes are freshly dug, you can roast them quite happily with the skins on. I'm going to cut mine into chunky quarters. A sprig of thyme, along with a few torn up strips of bay. Could be olive oil, but this time I'm using rapeseed oil. A little sprinkling of rough salt, a few grinds of pepper.
The seasoned artichokes go into a preheated oil dish and into a hot oven. After 25 minutes, let the chokes out and rev it all up with a few hazelnuts. Then 5 more minutes in the oven.
And they'll be done. And now for a really easy dressing. I'm going to use this bowl that's still got a little bit of oil and thyme that the artichokes were tossed in.
But this time I'm cracking open the hazelnut oil.
When I'm making a dressing using nut oil, I love to put a squeeze of orange juice in for an extra freshness. A squeeze of lemon, pinch of sugar. That's wonderful.
Now the nuts are nicely toasted, give them a rub to loosen those papery skins. Then onto the salad go the warm artichokes and hazelnuts. Finish it off with a few shavings of a good hard goat cheese.
And I'm looking for the mouthful that has everything. So I'm going to stab a bit of artichoke, grab a few leaves, pick up a bit of cheese, chase a hazelnut round the plate, and there we go. To me, that's the epitome of a well-balanced winter salad. It's substantial with the roots, feisty with all those tasty green leaves. There's only one flip side to this really rather charming dish, and that's artichokes being fartichokes. I've got a pretty windy night ahead. Never mind, eh? Let's enjoy the moment.
A couple of months back, I was finishing my beef steer on oats and molasses. It's now a month and a half since it went to slaughter, and I've already enjoyed a pot au feu of its offal and a lovely aromatic stew made from its shin. By way of a grand finale, I'm looking for a centrepiece for my big beefy thank you dinner coming up at the River Cottage canteen. Ray's here to show me some of the hidden delights from the underappreciated forequarter, the front end of the carcass from the neck to the middle of the ribs.
Pound for pound, there's more flavour in the forequarter than in the hindquarter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where the bargain cuts, but all the flavour is.
And it's just understanding the grain of the meat. That's the important thing on the forequarter.
Right.
It's just taking a little bit of trouble and prepare it properly.
We're about to see whether the oats and molasses that I fed this lovely steer on has done its job. Wow, look at that.
That's it.
That is classic beef marbling.
And then we can taste a little bit, shall we?
Go on,
Have a
mate.
little bit.
It's amazing, isn't it? Right in the eye of the meat, that tastes as sweet as anything. Completely delicious raw.
So if you asked me how would I cook that, I'd just walk it through a warm room.
With the 4-rib roasting joint put aside, the main cut we're after today is the brisket. That's the beefy equivalent of belly of pork or breast of lamb.
This is the brisket. It can be boiled brisket, it can be salt beef. But what I'd love is for you to help me get this prepped up as a long, slow roasting joint.
There's quite a lot of work on this to get it to that stage, mind. You've got to bone it out.
Yes.
Remove those little bits
Well,
of gristle.
I think we should hang this and come back to it.
Yeah, that'll be fine there. Lovely.
Nothing's going to go to waste. Ray and I are going to use some of the lesser cuts to make a couple of cured meat classics, pastrami and biltong.
So you might get a nice bit of biltong out of there.
We will, yeah.
While Ray's prepping the leg top for pastrami, I'm seaming out strips of lean meat to turn into biltong. You can also make pastrami from silverside, and for biltong, ask your butcher for long, lean strips from the clod or neck. There are all kinds of cured beef dishes to be found around the world. Biltong has its origins in the Dutch wagon trails of South Africa, while pastrami found its way to the delis of New York via Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe.
So for the biltong and the pastrami, we've got two slightly different sets of spices, but otherwise it's a similar process.
To cure the pastrami, Ray's using coriander seed, cracked black pepper, ginger, powdered garlic, salt of course, and soft brown sugar.
This one, you just take the meat and it's just rolled in there.
So there's no liquid in your marinade?
Not at the moment there isn't, but what you've got, you put the salt onto the meat, the liquid that's inside the meat turns the salt into a brine, and that travels into the middle and cures the meat. It's as simple as that, really.
That's it now? You're just going to leave that, turn it every now and again?
Yeah, that's the important thing, is to come back and you'll see just after a couple of hours there'll be a lot of liquid will come out of that. You just keep turning that.
And how long does it stay in the cure?
A piece of meat about like that would be about 8 days.
And turning it over once or twice a day?
Once a day, really. To start with, you'll need a couple of times, but...
So that really wants to go into a fridge, or at least a very cool larder?
Cool larder, definitely, yeah.
A 12-hour spell in the cold smoker is authentic, but by no means essential. Either way, simmer gently for a couple of hours before eating. The spice mix we're using for the biltong is not that different. Coriander, black pepper, powdered garlic, turmeric, brown sugar, salt, plus a hint of chilli. The addition of vinegar makes this a wet cure that acts fast on our thin strips of meat.
Right, and then we want this. Not for you, but for the meat.
Phew, I haven't done that badly then.
No.
A light pounding will help the meat absorb the spice mix.
Some vinegar on top of that. About 3 tablespoons. And that's it.
After just 3 hours in the cure, the biltong is dabbed with a clean cloth and hung out to dry.
That should do it. Now to hang. With biltong, you need to get the drying started fairly rapidly, so you need a source of heat. But that could be just about anything. A traditional biltong drying box can be made with a wooden wine case with a light bulb hanging in it. Some people even hang them down the back of the fridge where they get the warm air from the fan coming out. If you've got a wood-burning stove or an open fireplace, it's easy. But don't hang them in front of a really fierce fire. Wait till the heat just starts to drop.
After 12 to 24 hours of warm drying, you can hang it at room temperature and it'll keep getting drier and harder. Not a bad stocking filler for the carnivore in your life.
That's been drying for 4 days. I mean, you can just leave it to dry as long as you like, but that's ready to eat now.
It's quite a tender bit of meat still.
Yeah, yeah.
It's delicious. Getting all those spices,
Yeah.
but still in the middle, it's like quite a nice bit of juicy beef.
Yeah, yeah.
This kind of spice-dried meat, I mean, it's best known as biltong, but it's a global phenomenon, isn't it? I mean, the Americans have beef jerky.
In India, they call it ding ding. They hammer that really flat and then they fry it on a barbecue.
Is this more biltong or ding-dong?
Ding ding.
Is this more biltong or ding-ding?
Ding ding.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is,
definitely.
biltong or ding-ding, I think is a ding-dong success.
Even now, you might still encounter a few edible mushrooms, as long as the frosts aren't too long and hard. But truth be told, mushroom hunting isn't much of a winter sport. It is, however, a good time to plan for future fungal harvests rather closer to home. Fungus fanatic John Wright has promised to show me a way of bringing mountains of mushrooms to Mohammed.
It appears that you are heating logs in a trough.
Yeah, what I've got in mind, you need fresh but dead logs.
Like you're boiling them alive in order to kill them?
Yeah, so that I can grow mushrooms on them.
Are you possibly the first person ever to have boiled a log in order to grow mushrooms on it?
I suspect I am, yes.
You like that, don't you? Look at that, glowing with pride. Boiled any logs recently, John? Oh. What type of wood is it, by the way?
It's beech, perfect for what we want.
So these logs are already done.
They are all done, yes.
What have you done to them?
Well, I drilled holes, put plugs in, and then put some wax on top.
What plugs?
Plugs full of the mycelium of the fungus.
So with my precious warm log, will you show me from scratch how it's done? Go! Mind the fingers. Oh, blimey. I have to say, John, once you get a drill in your hand, you're absolutely insane.
License to drill.
So what on earth is that, John?
Well, that's a little dowel. That's been impregnated with the mycelium of oyster mushroom.
So this is actually, this white stuff on the surface of this little plug of wood is in fact a living fungi.
Yes, that's the fungus itself. The bit you eat, the bit you actually see, is the reproductive organ.
Mushroom growing kits containing impregnated dowels like this aren't expensive, and you can find them in garden centres or get them online.
This is something quite special. This is called the lion's mane fungus. It's a protected species. It's a bit like growing pandas and making panda burgers or something like that.
Knowing you, John, I'm surprised you haven't got square pegs.
The idea of the wax is just to seal the hole. It keeps it moist and also keeps other fungi out.
It's really a rather satisfying little job, this, isn't it? Nearly there.
Yeah.
In a few weeks' time, there'll be mushrooms sprouting out and we can eat them.
A few what? Weeks?
Weeks, no?
No, months. I mean, 6 months if you're lucky. But more
6 months?
Yes, or more likely a year or 18 months.
The world might end before this produces mushrooms, John. For
well, if it
sake.
doesn't, we'll have some nice mushrooms, won't we?
To cheer me up, John assures me that once the mycelium start fruiting, you can take a crop of mushrooms up to 3 times a year.
Thanks, John. Thanks very much. Cheers.
And a single log can last over 5 years. Soak them for an hour or even overnight, then lay them out in a damp spot. A good covering of bracken or straw is ideal to keep the moisture in. But when the first mushrooms appear, rearrange the logs to maximise the surface area for your crop. Mushroom logs are the perfect prezi for the fungi or girl in your life, providing they can handle a little delayed gratification.
But normally about now, we're tucking into a nice plate of mushrooms.
Yeah, we are.
You've got something?
I got something.
What on earth is that?
Right, do you fancy that?
What is that? It's a bit of a dry... It is some kind of fungus. It's all dry and
it's a dried
spongy.
lion's mane. That's what we're growing.
Oh, it smells quite good.
It's quite tough. There's quite a lot of flavour. It's rather acidic flavour, isn't it? I don't know where that.
I can imagine the fresh version's rather tasty.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. I never tried it because, of course, it's a rare species.
Desperate times.
There's a chippy open there.
Let's go.
A raid on the fridge in search of a tummy-filling easy lunch is a frequent occurrence at this time of year. And if you can rustle up a dog end of hard cheese, a cold spud or two, and a scrap of ham, believe it or not, you're in for a feast. A tartiflette toasty, no less. A fridge raider's version of an Alpine classic.
Nice bit of cheddar. I'm going to leave the skin on my spud because it's so tasty.
My tartiflette will be the perfect working lunch. It's definitely a recipe to play with. Feel free to ring the changes with leftover sausage or chicken instead of ham. The one indulgence that makes it, though, is a spot of cream.
Let's let that bubble down. The cream's almost disappeared. It's just a sort of glaze for the ham and the potatoes now, and that's just how I want it. I'm going to mix a little bit of cheese in. Wow. Now, just another tiny trickle of cream, because I want some of that to go into the bread. A few twists of black pepper, and the last of the cheese. back under the grill for a minute. And that's going to be one bubbly, cheesy, greedy, delicious lunch. Perfect for a winter's day with a long afternoon slog in the garden ahead. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right. There we go. Now surely that's a healthy lunch for a working man. Recently, I've been overrun by rabbits determined to tax my winter greens. But we've turned loss into profit by turning rabbits into lunch, transforming these furry hoppers into rabbit rillettes and bunny haggis. And we're determined to get this all but forgotten meat back on the kitchen repertoire. The good ladies of the WI rose to the occasion with a yummy bunny bonanza. And River Cottage canteen chef Tim got to grips with rabbit curry, which won the seal of approval from staff and customers at the Taj Mahal in Bridport.
That's fantastic.
You like it? Yeah.
Now Tim's bigging up our bunny mission for the younger generation, taking his rabbit downtown to tempt the revellers in Exeter city centre with some burger van belters.
Basically, with the back legs of the rabbit, the nice big meaty bits here, we're gonna, in some way, sort of pretend that that's chicken, and we're gonna do southern fried rabbit. So it's just basic fast food, the sort of thing that people are really familiar with. Hopefully, it's just gonna take away the ooh, it's a fluffy bunny factor. So we just take the back legs off. Why isn't rabbit as popular as chicken? It's healthier. It's certainly cheaper.
The meat on the leg is the tastiest, but also the toughest. So Tim's got a cunning ruse to make it super tender.
Pop that in the bottom of the pan. A couple of stalks of rosemary. Good pinch of ground cumin. Same of coriander. 1 star anise. Fennel seeds. In they go. Got to get some garlic in there, but we're not going to faff about. Just literally going to bash it.
Add the seasonings to the onions and lay the lovely lean legs on top. Add enough oil to just cover the legs. This will keep them lubricated and let the spices seep into the meat.
I'm just going to bung that in the oven, about 180 degrees, 2 hours, maybe 3. I think these rabbit legs are going to need a little bit of a dip. We'll just put a bit of garlic into our food processor, salt, a little bit of cider vinegar, some nice English mustard in through the magic hole. I think a little bit of dried thyme in there will give it a nice pungency. We've got the cumin, coriander, almost making a coronation chicken dressing here.
Add 2 egg yolks and gradually trickle in the oil until the mix emulsifies into a creamy, spicy mayo.
Oh, wow, yeah. Dip a nice bit of rabbit in there. Lovely.
After almost 2 hours in the bunny oiler, thoroughly drain the rabbit legs of excess oil, and you've got very tender, very tasty meat.
Rabbit leg, flour, rabbit leg. Give it a good coating into the egg. And breadcrumb.
To make sure his bunny's got soul, there's a little kick of cayenne in those crumbs.
So we've got these on about 160 degrees, and I'm going to take 3, maybe 4 minutes, tops. Let those drain off. I'm pleased that the breadcrumbs have all stayed on, not come parted company in the fryer. And a good amount of that nice sauce on there. I haven't so much disguised it as familiarised it. I want them to see it as something, a format of food that they're comfortable with, relaxed about eating. Exeter, here I come.
There's no shortage of ravenous revellers, but are they ready for rabbit?
The whole point is to try and convince people of how good it is and that we're missing a trick here, and it could all go horribly wrong, couldn't it, really?
With the whiff of fried meat on the cold air, he's certainly drawing some interest from the night birds.
There you are. Pass me a southern fried rabbit leg.
Well, the rabbit's certainly getting a road test, but is it a runner?
Who's next? You like it? You don't have a problem about eating a fluffy bunny?
If it was a fluffy one, not a wild rabbit. You know, they're quite cute, but actually it's really good.
This is excellent.
That's genius. All the rabbit is now sold out!
If you want to try this versatile, tasty and healthy meat, go to your local butcher's or farmer's market.
Tonight, amazing things have happened. We've sold all of the rabbit, and we've converted people who've never eaten rabbit before. I think that's the way you do it. I'm really chuffed, really pleased.
My festive thank you party for all the staff at the canteen is just around the corner. Taking centre stage will be slow roast brisket and rare sirloin, preceded by canapes of biltong and pastrami.
Lovely Clovelly herring, silver darlings!
So a fishy starter's definitely in order, and my day at the Clovelly Herring Festival has inspired me. And what I want to do is make pretty much a classic Scandinavian roll mop, but with a few little twists. I'm going to use plenty of bay leaves, that's pretty normal. Some orange zest, which is unusual but works really well with herring. And I'm going to use my favourite cider vinegar. But before I mix up that pickling marinade, the herring fillets have to go into a strong brine for a couple of hours. This is a cold water brine, and the 350 grams of salt should dissolve easily in 3 litres of water. And you know the job's done if the water's pretty much gone clear. These herring fillets would sink in plain fresh water, but because the water's really salty, they float. And that's great because it means I can turn them over every half an hour or so without having to heave them up from the bottom and risk bruising them. And while the herring fillets brine, I can get on with my cure. Starting with 3 bottles of cider vinegar, a kilo of sliced onions, and 200 grams of soft brown sugar. Along with the bay leaves and orange zest, add a handful of black peppercorns and allspice berries. Bring the mixture to the boil, and don't forget to turn your herrings once in a while. If I wanted to store my roll mops for weeks or even months, I'd keep this marinade as concentrated as it is. But because I'm going to serve these in just a few days, I don't need to pickle them as harshly. I'm going for a lighter, sweeter cure. And so I'm going to add some cider, 1.5 litres, and a little bit of water. After a couple of hours, the herring fillets are brined, the pickling liquor is cool, and I can roll my mops. I'm drying off any excess brine as I don't need more salt in the cure. I'm rolling from the tail to the head, which is the most obliging way, but they are quite slippery little things. They take a bit of wrestling. And once you've got them rolled, straight away you want to get that cocktail stick and spear, and in we go. Stay in there, you naughty tail. In we go. Once the jar is full, ladle over the cure. You know what? If somebody gave me a jar of this for Christmas, I would be thrilled to bits. It's a busy time for the canteen, and the hard-working front-of-house staff and Tim's kitchen team are bracing themselves for the festive onslaught. So before they're completely run off their feet, I think it's only right that they're properly thanked for their year's hard work. The plan is to give them the ultimate roast beef with all the trimmings. It's been over 6 weeks since my steer went to slaughter, and during that time the beef has been maturing and getting better and better. I reckon it's pretty much at its peak now. Here's my beautiful piece of brisket, and this is a lovely rolled sirloin. It's the brisket I've got to get to grips with right away, because that's got to go into a low oven for long, slow cooking for 6 or 7 hours. The sirloin I'll be serving as rare as I dare, so I don't have to worry about that for a while.
I'm using two simple, powerful flavourings with my brisket, garlic and thyme, and plenty of both. Festooned with these sprigs of lovely fresh thyme, it's already starting to look quite festive.
Roughly slice the garlic and slot it in anywhere you can find a gap.
Just a little massage of oil, the real purpose of which is to help the salt and pepper that I'm about to put on it stick evenly to the surface of the meat. Little drum roll for the onions there. A bit more garlic and thyme. Right, mustn't forget this. I'm going straight up to the canteen to get this one in the oven.
With Tim guest of honour at the feast, it's fallen to Gil and I to annex his kitchen for an afternoon of prep.
Should we have a look at this brisket then?
Yeah.
Let's get him out.
It's been quietly roasting for 6 hours now, with the odd basting to keep the meat moist.
Good.
Quite something, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a fantastic joint.
Another hour should finish it. Time to roast and rest the sirloin, which we're serving super rare.
45 minutes and a half-hour rest.
Half an hour in the oven and half-hour rest.
You want as rare as that?
Well, let's compromise. 35 minutes.
37 and a half minutes.
Brisket is full of beefy flavour and only a third of the price of the prime roasting joint, sirloin.
Sometimes people think, oh, the brisket, you know, it's maybe not as exciting, but it is.
I think so.
It's got such a depth of character.
Yeah. If I could only taste one tonight, it would be the brisket.
Well, it'd be the same for me. I'd go the brisket all the time.
Blanching the greens.
Yeah.
Just to get ahead of the game. Quick flash in the hot water, chill, and then when you're ready to serve, just warm them up in a pan with a little bit of butter. And
it takes all the stress out of cooking.
For Christmas and all that, when you're just going a bit bonkers at home.
Yeah.
Not just a chef's trick, it's a home trick.
And here's another tip. I've preheated a mix of beef fat and sunflower oil in a saucepan to get my roast taters off to a sizzling start. Just as well as our guests are already starting to arrive.
Evening.
Get out. You're here to enjoy yourself.
How can I have fun when I'm worried about you destroying my baby?
And we're here to hide all your equipment.
Well, I want it all back shiny and exactly the right.
You're not going to find anything in the same place as where you left it.
Personally, I have every faith in Gil.
Now get out. Go and get yourself a drink. Go. The first little taste of beef this evening is going to come from a biltong canapé. Ah, Stephen and John, just who I wanted to see. I've got some canapés for you to take out.
We try it.
Can I just say something? You're talking to us as if we're here to work.
Yes, I don't want any of them doing any work, so it's all down to us to look after them, OK?
Do I get a little penny and things? And,
yes,
and
you
I
do.
need a...
Oh, no, why did you say that?
You're going to be the clumsy waiter, and you're going to be the dumb waiter.
Really? Fantastic.
For an extra bit of panache, you might like to hang one of those over your arm. Bit of biltong.
In Steve and John, I may have a reluctant pair of waiters of questionable competence, but at least the canteen staff get a proper night off.
What do you think?
It's lovely.
Yeah? That's your third.
It's so good.
It's research. You've got to know what you're taking out. Very good.
The first dish of the feast is our cider bay and orange cured roll mop herrings, served with a creamy but crunchy celeriac Waldorf salad.
I quite like this novel, serving the dishes up at the table.
Isn't it good, though?
I think it's exquisite. Absolutely top drawer. So nice.
With a full double roast to serve up, we've got no time to sit around.
Who takes our plates away? I'm never doing this again.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Did we get one?
Hello?
Is that mine?
We've been at it all day, boys.
It seems the natives are getting restless, while the waiters are getting squiffy.
Well, I mean, you know, it's half an hour since we had our starter.
Apparently, Hugh can't work the microwave.
You know, I mean, I don't want to rush anyone, but it's been quite a while.
Right. Hey. Isn't it extraordinary that something cooked for 40 minutes and something cooked for 6 hours, they both completely melt in the mouth?
The flavours are amazing. It's really nice. Just having dinner cooked for me is a wonderful thing.
These roasties are spot on.
Absolutely glorious. Really, really nice. Lovely.
Fantastic. For me, the brisket is a revelation.
Hugh, I'm sure you think you've finished, but actually there's one last duty you have to perform this evening. Polishing off the washing up, so
cheers.
You should get over there.
Gosh, a brand new pair. See you later. Cheers.
Without a doubt, the Christmas season is one of the most glorious times of the year. A time of celebrations, parties, families and friends. But it's also a time to take stock of the last 12 months. As the winter weather closes in, we can look back on a spring, summer and autumn where we took what was good in the garden, filled our bellies and our spirits with the very best of the seasons. I reckon that's a pretty good recipe, and I'm looking forward to trying it again next year.